Ever spent 30 minutes scrolling through restaurant options on your phone only to end up eating leftovers at home because you just couldn't decide? Don't even talk to my husband about this. Or maybe you're staring at a list of homes, wondering which is the one, only to feel more stuck than when you started. Hi, I'm Wendy Pauls, and I'm a chronic overthinker. Overthinking happens when we're trying to make the best decision. Whether it's a big decision like buying a home or a small decision like what to watch on Netflix, choosing a restaurant, or what to wear. What we want is certainty that we're making the right choice. But here's the kicker. There is very rarely one right choice. And all that spinning, it can lead to something that psychologists call analysis paralysis. Take me, for example. When I'm attempting to choose a restaurant, my brain goes into overdrive. What is the cost? Do I feel like this type of food? What else did I eat today? Okay, if I had salad for lunch, maybe wings for dinner are okay and I won't feel too bloated or too heavy. How's the ambiance? I don't want to pay if the experience doesn't feel worth it. Could I just make this at home and save money? Sometimes I'm glad that I think things through, actually often, but let's be honest, this overthinking, it's exhausting. And when it comes to big decisions like buying or selling a home, that mental exhaustion can hit even harder. We tend to overthink because it feels productive. If we weigh every single option, surely we'll avoid mistakes, right? But overthinking actually doesn't prevent mistakes. It just makes the process longer and more painful. At its core, overthinking is rooted in fear. Fear of regret, fear of judgment, and fear of uncertainty. There's a concept in psychology called maximization, which describes people who strive to make the optimal choice by evaluating every single option. Sound familiar? This behavior often leads to increased stress, difficulty deciding, and less satisfaction with the final choice. Okay, that sucks. You put in all that mental energy, you make a choice, and then you're less satisfied with it. And then there's overchoice or choice overload. This happens when too many options leave you overwhelmed and unable to decide. Have I actually stood in a grocery store and been almost in tears? Yeah, I have. Have you ever stood in a grocery aisle staring at peanut butter brands, 15 brands of them? That's overchoice in action. Do any of you remember the restaurant Swiss Chalet had their full menu on the paper placemat? So the options were basically white or dark chicken, fries, or salad. It was fabulous for an overthinker like me. Now there's way too many options. But I just usually order the quarter chicken with fries like 90% of the time. But here's a strategy I've started using at other restaurants. When I see an item that appeals to me when I'm looking over the menu, and it fits what I'm looking for right now, I close the menu and I just go with it. If a couple items catch my eye and I still can't decide, I ask the server to surprise me. And honestly, this has been a delightful solution. So let me give you some helpful strategies to deal with overthinking in a variety of situations. Number one, reframe. So instead of looking for the best option, think of what's important to you right now. So for me, when choosing food, I value good sources of protein, quality ingredients. I don't want a lot of garbage in there, but I also value good taste and the experience. So I might quickly ask myself, does this feel good for my body right now? This combines taste, nutrition, and satisfaction into one simple check-in question. Does this match what I'm in the mood for? Trust your instinct. Are you craving freshness, indulgence, or comfort? Will I feel happy with this choice after I eat it? Ooh, this is a big question. Imagine the after feeling. Is it energized, satisfied, or regretting the choice? Number two, set parameters for best. Define what best looks like in advance. Write down 3 to 5 non-negotiables and focus only on the options that meet those criteria. For a restaurant, best might mean it's within budget, it satisfies your craving, and it's nearby. Number 3, limit the number of options. Too many options lead to overwhelm, like we talked about earlier. So narrow it down to 2 to 3 strong contenders and dive deeper into those. For house hunting, shortlist homes that meet at least 80% of your criteria. Then just work with those. Number 4, practice satisficing. Satisficing means choosing something that's good enough instead of chasing perfection. Remember that happiness doesn't require perfection, and most decisions can be adapted later. Number 5, set a deadline. Decisions thrive on timelines. Give yourself a deadline, whether it's 48 hours or 2 weeks, depending on the size of the decision. When I was considering moving into real estate from what I did before, I gave myself 4 weeks to research, talk to people, look into the schooling, and then make the decision. And finally, let's talk about regret. Instead of asking, what if this is the wrong decision? Try reframing. What's the best I can do with this choice once I commit to it? The truth is, few decisions are ever completely permanent, especially with something like buying or selling a home. You can remodel, adapt, or even move again if life changes. The key is to stop focusing on certainty and instead focus on confidence. Ask yourself, have I given this enough thought, consideration, or research to feel confident about my decision? That's all you need. Confidence, not perfection. It's also important to give yourself grace. Our decisions can only ever be as good as the information we have available at the time, but so often we judge ourselves later based on what we didn't know then. That's unfair, and it's a major reason why overthinking feels so exhausting. The reality is, no one has a crystal ball. Confidence comes from knowing you've done your best with the tools you have and trusting that you'll handle whatever comes next. Overthinking might feel like a safety net, but it's actually a trap. By shifting your focus from certainty to confidence, trusting your gut, setting deadlines, and reframing regret, you can make decisions that feel right without the mental exhaustion. And hey, if you're stuck in decision mode, whether it's about real estate or life, I'd love to help. As both a realtor and life coach, I specialize in helping people find clarity and confidence in their choices. So please drop me a comment below or reach out, and I'd love to help you tackle those big decisions together.